Hey guys, Mark Ferrasci, Protect Dog Training, sitting there in the cool of the evening outside the trailer here, watching the sun go down and enjoying the view of the sunset here pretty quick. Walk around property and check it out, get Joker out a little bit for a walk. So today's been kind of interesting. I've been getting haters on my list. I got one coming in from Europe that's bagging on stem collars and bagging on pinch collars. And being from Europe, I don't really respect it too much, but she totally did the natural thing, stood out like an expert and going to tell me her opinion in an expert fashion, so that she's denoting basically that she's an expert and I'm an idiot. And like I told her, I get a little upset when that happens to me, because I hate people that are pretentious and think they're all that, and when you really dig into it, they don't have a clue, you know. I've been raised around dogs. I eat, breathe, and sleep it, and I've lived in a saturation index that most people will never understand, you know. When you're in this kind of environment, it's interesting, you know, hanging with Caesar and all the dogs that he had and watching the pack and the interaction that he had with the pack. And I didn't agree with Caesar for everything he did. I'll be honest with you. We got along. We did a lot of really heavy discussions about it, you know, but at the same time, I was observing the pack. I was observing what was going on and how the dogs reacted to him and how he controlled that pack. And I learned an awful lot from that, right? Just from being on the outside of the fishbowl and being there and being able to watch him interact with the animals and put forward his concepts and his theories that he felt were valid. His show is panned out. There's a lot of people that don't agree with him. They don't think he knows his ass from a hole in the ground. But one thing you can't take away from the guy, he has an instinctive ability with the animals, and a lot of these animals are this close to being put down. You know, he's the last result, so they're going to him because the only other chance they have is to put the dog down. It's kind of like how I got Arrow. You know, I mean, Arrow was destined to get a needle. You know, and if it's not for people like me that have an understanding of dog psychology and understand a dog, these dogs would end up losing their life a lot of times. You know, sometimes it's tough love is what it's all about. But he's definitely got what I call Caesar a holistic trainer. You know, he's got an instinct and a feel for dogs. And he's trying to put that across to the owners, because something we both agreed with, and we were together. We were always talking about things and having heavy discussions about certain things. Was that the main problem with dogs is the human factor, right? Society. Because most people don't understand dogs, and they don't understand how to communicate with them. They don't understand the interactions of a pack instinct and what a dog is all about, right? So it's their inadequacies, it's their not understanding how to communicate with the dog that causes these neuroses. That's what it is. It's neurosis. It's all the behaviors you see are human caused. You know, 90% of the behaviors you see with Caesar are human caused. They're not the dog's fault. They're the humans that own them. Right? And so that's what he's always kind of pointing himself towards, and you just got to understand that 90% of a dog is all about the human that owns them, how the environment they set up, how they treat the dog, everything they do with that dog is all about them, right? It's about the human factor. So it's interesting when you get the Norwegian crowd and the European crowd that have outlawed stem collars, and they think it's all negative, and they have no clue. You know, did they stop and ask me what level I had the collar on? I've got it on his working level. The lowest he's going to feel, and all I need is a tap. It was just kind of equal to a leash. I don't need to fry the dog, okay? But right away, because of electricity being involved, that means I'm frying the dog, right? This negativity comes at you. And it is what it is. It's lack of understanding of the tools we have. I've always said it, and I'll say it again and again. The tool is only as good as the person using it. All right. If the person's an idiot, he's an asshole, he's going to use it wrong, then that's abusive, right? You can be abusive with overfeeding. You can be abusive by not getting your dog out and socializing them when they're a puppy and the dog's a neurotic mess because you don't know what the frig you're doing. I mean, it's society, and humans are the problem, not the dogs, right? So it's something else. So I dealt with that, and then I've got my little 13-week-old puppy that I've got out, and she's got a full series of shots. Is she totally done with the shot? No, she's got one more at 16 weeks, right? So if you rob that dog of that environment and you don't take them out, you're going to have a brain-dead dog. You're going to have a dog that's not socialized properly, and you miss that imprint period. If you miss that imprint period, that's going to follow that dog around for the rest of his life. okay? So my point of view is that I am going to get the dog out at an earlier age, an earlier point of view, and just use common sense and make sure I don't put the dog down in flower beds, I stay away from the dog park, and I'm conscientious and aware of parvo, all right? That's the main killer of dogs, is parvo. But there's other diseases too. There's distemper, there's all kinds of things. So having your shots is important. But if I wait until the very bitter end and wait until 16 weeks, I've missed some critical development periods. Right? It's happening from 8 weeks on. When I get a puppy from the breeder, I usually will pick them up at 8 weeks. They're getting their imprint before that is with their litter mates and with being raised, and all that's very important to them. The mother cuffing them, all that stuff, the mother's interaction with the puppies and the puppies interacting with themselves is that imprint period until 8 weeks of age. At 8 weeks, we take the dog home, and now we start trying to potty train the dog, and we're getting them through everything, and then that's important too. Me, I've got horses, I've got goats, I've got people that show up here for lessons, I've got all kinds of things to give me that general socialization. But it's not environmental. I need to get the dog out in the environment to make sure I sack the dog out. We've talked about that. So it's important that you do it with some common sense. You want to be safe, but lording over me and to make me think that I'm inadequate because, oh, I've only got 2 shots, you don't know your rear end from a hole in the ground, and that's why I hate the couch potatoes. I hate it. So if you come into my channel and you push out a negative and you want to get in my face, I'm going to delete you and I'm going to push you out of my channel. It's just easy as that. I have no qualms with that because there's too many idiots in the world that want to express themselves and act like they're experts, and that's the problem. One of the big things in dog training is funny. Anywhere you go, you will talk to 3 people, and every one of them act like an expert. They're going to tell you how to raise your dog. They're going to tell you what to do, and they all are experts, every one of them. Very rarely will you find somebody like me that eats, breathes, sleeps dogs and that have been doing this my whole life, okay? I started when I was 12. I've eaten, breathed, and sleep dogs for my whole life, okay? I'm 59 now. How many years is that? All right? I missed a little bit of time period when I fell into other jobs and things like that, but for the most part, I've got probably 30, 40 years of experience dealing with dogs all the time. Okay? I got Joker over here. You hear all the barking in the back of that kennel? I got dogs all around me. So I don't know what I'm doing. So it's all good. So I invite all you people that are couch potatoes that want to be the back seat driver to come on over and give me shit and go ahead and express yourself as an expert, please. I love it. Unless you're Ivan or somebody that I respect, Oscar Moore, somebody that I respect, I don't want to hear from you because you're 90% of the time you don't know your ass from a hole in the ground. And I hate being rude, but it's the truth. Sometimes you folks need to be put in your place because it's people like you that are screwing up the dogs. You really are. You want a dog for a different purpose. I want a dog for real. I want a dog that's going to work. I want a cattle dog. I want a dog that's been bred for a function and that has proven himself to be in that function. I want to see that dog go back towards that function if our society would allow it. Unfortunately, all these things these dogs used to do in the old days are no longer available. The Dutch Shepherds used to be a herding breed, breeding sheep, and that used to be a big part of their life. That genetic stamp came from that originality in that animal, right? Connie Corsas, all these breeds that have any substance at all were bred for a purpose, right? Our society right now doesn't want to have any purpose. All they want to do is sit there on the couch and jack their jaw and think they know what they're talking about, and 99% of them don't know what they're talking about, and 90% of the society shouldn't even have a friggin' dog as far as I'm concerned. So that's just my personal opinion. So I'll let you guys go. Have a good night. Mark Ferrasci, Protect Dog Training, yakking at the screen as usual. Bye-bye.